Hello everybody, welcome back to Aryan Tutorials, and I am Aryan Thakkar, your coach and mentor. Now this is going to be your last video of the composition series where I am just left to tell you about how to write a perfect reflective composition. Uh, and I hope that you are liking my video and content, and if you are, then please do like, share, subscribe and share it with your friends and let all the students benefit from this quality content. Okay, so without wasting time, let's get started. So this is one of the most challenging composition in my opinion, and I have seen that many teachers do not advise students to attempt this composition because again it requires discussing a problem. You have to bring to the table a problem, a modern problem, and along with that the student has to come up with a relevant solution as well. Besides, this essay demands at times a very formal tone depending on the topic, and sometimes when topic is a bit more liberal, then you can be free with your linguistic structure. Okay, and this essay in particular has to have a statistical representation of all the problem which the topic is trying to cover. So you have to address to that problem and bring to the table a relevant solution to that as well. And that makes reflective composition a bit challenging. But then again, with an in-depth understanding and a concept clarity, you can also master this and ace a perfect 20 on 20. So what are the key points that you need to remember while writing a reflective composition is, first of all, try to discuss a problem which is associated with the topic, or you can also take up a controversy that goes around that topic which has been asked in the question. Okay. Secondly, for any contemporary topic, you have to use a formal tone while writing this essay. Again, just like your argumentative essay. I've given a topic's example. For instance, social media impacts your academic performance. So how does it impact the academic performance of the students? What it leads to? Right, your understanding. So your tone has to be very formal when you are writing this composition in particular. But on the other hand, if there is a topic which requires an in-depth interpretation of the topic, that is a vivid interpretation, then you can be a little liberal in your linguistic structure. Then your creative words can come in and you can justify that topic as per your comfort zone with your choice of words. Okay, for example, evil as a part of human nature means evil is not something which is different or oblivious to human nature, rather it is imbibed. We all as humans have some part of evilness within us which needs to be acknowledged. That is what this topic is trying to address. So evil is a part of human nature. So in that case, your linguistic can be as per your comfort zone. Got it? Now, who should be attempting this topic and what are the things which you need to remember? First of all, anyone who can write in an unbiased manner. Now, understand that this is not an argumentative composition where you have to sit on the fence and decide whether you have to take for or against. No, it is, you can write also for or against depending upon, you can just give a problem, throw a problem, and you can also take this. Also, I feel that there is here. So it provides you a more comfort zone than that of argumentative essay, which requires taking one side of the fence. Okay. Second point, someone who can understand what the modern problems are. So what modern problems look like and how they need to be addressed. They should be attempting this kind of composition. Third point, someone who can address the problem by providing a relevant solution to it. Please remember that for a reflective essay, it is a must and must that you have to come up with a solution onto the table. Only then you will get your full 20 marks or a 19 on 20. Okay. And please take note of this, that you have to write it in the third person's perspective, from the third person's perspective or the third person's narration. Try not doing it in the form of I, that you do it in the narrative composition. Okay, so if you remember all these points, I'm sure that you will ace your reflective composition. And as I do, I'm going to take you down through my student's reflective composition and how she has written it. It will give you an in-depth insight into what are the points which you need to remember. So let's go. So it is the same topic which I had just mentioned before, evil as a part of human nature. Now I'll read it out. It's a beautiful essay. Evil is not a distant spectator, that means watcher, someone who's watching. Rather, it is cloaked. Evil is not a distant spectator, cloaked means covered in myth or hidden in the pages of history. It is much closer, closer than we would like to admit. Evil, it sits quietly in the shadow cast by our brightest selves. Means our shadow itself has an element of evilness within it. Woven into the fibers of our nature like a dark thread. We often speak of evil as if it is an external force. Monstrous, lurking means hiding in the woods, tyrants rising in distant lands, but evil is not out there. It is in the mirror stitched into the very silhouette of what it means to be a human. Now, what is a silhouette? Silhouette is like that, that gray marks of a thing which was kept there. So कोई भी चीज जो जहां पे थी उसको अगर आप हटा देते हो तो उसके कुछ मार्क्स रह जाते हैं जिससे पता चलता है that there used to be something over here, and that is what silhouette means. ठीक है, stitch into the very silhouette of what it means to be a human. Imagine for a moment that the human soul is a vast ocean. On the surface, the water shimmers with sunlight, glittering reflection of kindness, love, and empathy. But beneath that surface lies the deep, dark abyss where light cannot reach and strange ancient creatures drift, reside, they live in silence. We rarely dive that deep because it terrifies us. This abyss is not separate from the ocean, it is the ocean. I remember the first time I recognized this darkness, not in the world but within myself. It was not something grand, cinematic moment. It was small, almost trivial. Means it was very insignificant. मतलब कुछ बहुत बड़ा नहीं था. I was a child and another kid had embarrassed me in front of a group. I felt a surge of something sharp and hot, a desire not just to retaliate but to hurt, to see them suffer just as I did. It was not righteous anger, it was something meaner, colder. I did not act on it, but the feeling lingered like a sour taste. That moment did not make me evil, but it showed me that the seed was there buried under the layers of politeness. Evil wears many masks. Sometimes it is the grotesque, obvious, and like a festering wound, raw and impossible to ignore. It is the roaring fire that consumes everything in its path, leaving charred remains where life once thrived, where life once germinated. Evil, it is the wolf with blood on its teeth, unshamed and hungry, staring us down with eyes that know no remorse. Imagine the human soul as a vast wild forest. On the surface, sunlight filters through the canopies. Birds sing, rivers run clean, and the air carries the sweet scent of wildflowers. This is the part of us we like to show our kindness, our empathy. But beneath the forest floor, hidden in the dark, damp soil, are the gnarled roots. Gnarled means जो एक दूसरे में जकड़े हुए होते हैं. Gnarled roots, knotted, feeding not just the flowers but the weeds, not just the trees but the fungi of decay. Evil lies here, not as an anomaly, but as a part of the ecosystem. Human soul is a fertile soil capable of nurturing both vibrant life and poisonous weed. Rakta Beach represents the kind of evil that does not just resist destruction but thrives on the very attempts to eradicate. Every drop of his blood that touched the earth sprouted another demon as fierce as the original. This mirrors how hatred, anger, greed, and violence reside within us. Suppressing them without understanding their root causes often leads to their escalation in the new disguised forms. But if evil is a part of us, does that mean we are doomed? I do not think so. A shadow only exists because there is light. Acknowledging the darkness does not mean surrendering to it. It means we can confront it. The danger is not in having the shadow, it is in pretending it is not there. It is in pretending that it is not there. Evil is a part of human nature, but so is the capacity to confront it. It is the dark ink that makes the bright letters legible, the silence that shapes the music. If evil is the shadow, then awareness is the sun. You do not banish a shadow by fighting it, you dissolve it by shining a light. It is a beautiful essay where she has captured each and every aspect of how evil is imbibed in human existence. And it is only through by acknowledging our evil side, we as human being can feel complete. It is not that we try to escape our evilness that will provide a solution. Rather, by acknowledging it, that it resides within us, and it is only that we need to acknowledge and realize that when are we turning out to be evil and try not to become one and learn from the circumstances is we can master our lives as human beings. So this is indeed a magnum opus, a beautiful piece of writing, and therefore she has got a 20 on 20. So if you like this video, then please do like, share, subscribe, and share it with your friends for more such quality content. Have a good time preparing for your examination. Take care. Bye-bye.